Want to know how to make your next job interview a lot easier? Cheat. No, seriously, we're going to talk about it. If we haven't met, my name is Cassandra and I help motivated professionals build their careers through practical tips to gain career confidence. And today, let's talk all about that job interview and how to cheat to make it easier. Here's the thing. Virtual job interviews are hard enough, right? And when I say, when we're talking job interview, we're talking virtual job interviews, remote job interviews, because frankly, that's what most of us are doing right now, right? So they're hard enough. You don't get to go in person and get that connection and that feel. And so let's take some of the stress away. Let's use the positives of virtual interviewing to our benefit. And yes, I know cheating is wrong. And so that's why I say we're cheating. It's not really cheating. It's just things to help you out. Let's stay on track in that interview, and these cheats will help you. First off, you're going to love a Post-it. We need to make Post-its our new best friend. Put Post-its on your laptop, right? I got mine sitting right here. Why are we not putting Post-its that say smile to remind us what to do? Put a Post-it on the back of your laptop and put look here with an arrow to remind you to be looking at the camera and not down at the interviewer on the screen or at yourself in the corner. Use Post-its to your advantage to give you nice little reminders. Nobody's gonna know, y'all. If you think of like the TikTok, no one's gonna know. They're gonna know. They're not gonna know. Use Post-its to your benefit. Then create a cheat sheet or cheat sheets. So some people will tell you, have a copy of your resume sitting right next to you. I think that is too much information at once and in too small of writing. So instead, what I want you to do is either use more Post-its or use full-size pieces of paper and write in big writing key things you want to remember. So this is your cheat sheet. Now, we don't have every answer possible. We don't keep our whole stack of index cards that we've prepped with next to us. I don't want it to ever look like you are reading off a page. And so that's why we put things in big words and just trigger words to remind us of key things we want to talk about. So you could have the resume there. You could have your whole interview prep sitting next to you, but I think it'll get real tempting to look at it and go, okay, and then what thing did I want to say at that job? And you're looking over here instead of looking at that Post-it that's reminding you to look at that. So what are the key things we want to write down on this cheat sheet? I would think about adding things like the 3 key things you want to get across to them about yourself in the interview. So these might be key points you're going to add in tell me about yourself, or just overall ideas you want to make sure you're weaving into the conversation. Then I would also put some keywords from their company mission and values, right? So that when they say, why are you interested in working here? You go, oh, that's a great question. You look down for a second, you look back up, but in that time you look down, you saw those keywords of the company mission and values. You also might want to write down the keyword for your strength, for your weakness, your overall message of why you're a good fit, right? Just what are those key things that you want to make sure they know, hey, these are the transferable skills I have to this position. Full transparency. I did this for my last job. 5 years ago, I interviewed for a job in a different state. And so my entire 3-hour interview was virtual. And I had my laptop with Post-it, and next to it on giant pieces of paper, I had big words that said like in highlight, like overall statement, strength, weakness. And I'll be honest, I didn't even really end up looking at them, but there was something comforting about knowing they were there. Now, other people have said, post something on the wall behind you, etc. If you're like me, I don't really have a wall close enough behind me. So I like the on the desk kind of version, but just make sure you are not completely reading off it. When someone asks a question, you go, that's a great question. You look down for that 1 second, you catch your little mark and you start talking. So they're just prompts We never want to be reading off this. I know I've said it like 5 times, but that's just how important it is to get that message across. Cheat number 3, use on-screen visual aids. Now, this is one that you actually could do in person too. You can bring, printed out documents for them, but remote, virtual, Zoom interviews, this is really a nice little easy touch to do. So when I say on-screen visual aids, think about anything that you can show to demonstrate your work. Is there a project you've done before? Did you create something special for them? Do you want to visualize your sales or your social media impressions that you got as a social media manager in your last job? You make a graph, whatever it is. If there's some sort of visual aid, that's really going to help you in the interview. By sharing screen and pulling up that visual aid, it's going to first help the interviewer or interviewers, as it seems to be often, get an idea of what you can do, right? I think anytime we have a visual to go with the story, it just helps connect the dots in a different way. But it's also going to help you not have to memorize every point of something. So by having that visual aid, you can kind of remind yourself, oh yeah, I want to talk about this thing, or you don't have to memorize every number. You can say, oh, and you can see that my sales rose 50% over the last year. You get to use it to kind of trigger your memory. So similar to the cheat sheet, it's going to trigger what you should be talking about. They're just seeing it too. Now, a tip that might seem obvious, but sometimes we forget these things. If you're going to use a visual aid, make sure it is open and ready on your computer before the interview begins. You also might want to ask them ahead of time, hey, I might want to share screen. Could you give me permissions to do that? Just at the beginning to make sure you're ready to go. Sometimes the opportunity might not come up for you to use the visual aid. We don't want to force it into a conversation, but you want to have it at the ready in case you can use it. And then, like I said, you can use it to your benefit to help remind you, oh yeah, these are the key things I want to talk about what I can do, what I've done before that I can do for them. Now, of course, whether you have made some cheats or not, I believe you have to practice for an interview, even with the cheats. Remember, they're just little triggers. They're not everything written out for you perfectly, which means you have to practice, y'all. These words are not going to flow well the first time. Don't let the first time be in the room. So to help you, I have a free interview prep checklist. You can get that in the description box below. Make sure you pick that up. It'll walk you through all the steps you need to make sure you are prepped and ready to go for your next interview. So that was it for this one. If you have any other cheats, in quotes, that you use in an interview, feel free to share those in the comments. I would love to see if there are some other ideas that, I haven't thought of. We can learn from each other. So let me know in the comments. That's it for today. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you know when new videos come out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.